These seem to be landing most of them this evening. Nice product.
With a reasonably full tank of caballitos, we head to Socorro Island, second in the Revea-Hiedo island chain, in search of the big tuna. Once anchored at Socorro, we carefully tie our tuna hooks, test the knots, then nose hook one of our caballitos.
I don't want to be on short tuna.
The bait is then cast as far away from the boat as possible and to the waiting tuna. Our first visitors are sharks. Now I feel the familiar sensation of a tail beating on my line. That can only be one thing, a tuna.
All right, now when we go under this anchor, I want to loosen that drag up and down. Why am I the only one with a gaff in my hand?
As the tuna circles the anchored boat, pulling the angler with them, the rod must be passed under the anchor rope. This exchange of rod between deckhand and angler disqualifies the fish for IGFA world record considerations. This is one of the largest controversies the IGFA currently has with regards to fishing regulations.
Circle one. It's not always easy, but it's always fun.
As this fish gives me line, I try to put it back on the reel as quickly as I can. Without the pressure from my rod, this fish was able to use the slack in my line and get its head pointed down and away from me. Now, I will have to struggle to pull the fish onto its side in order to get its head turned around and back towards the surface. Once on its side, the fish will resume swimming in a series of circles, so typical of tuna. I am careful to follow the fish along the transom while keeping the rod tip out and away from the boat, and therefore the line away from the swim step.
Don't point that rod at him.
And the first big tuna hits the deck.
Mike, one, go!
All 120 pounds of them.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, we got him! Woo! Woo! Go! Dennis, up the rail!
Whose fish?
Mine!
My fish, Alice, my fish.
That's right!
Big! Look at the size.
You toad! You toad!
But the fun has just begun. Dennis Bittigary is losing more and more of his line to this angry tuna.
Yeah, you guys get...
How you feeling, Dennis?
There's a hookup.
Perfect.
Dennis needs to put the hurt to this fish right now. But that's a lesson he's going to learn while fishing for big tuna.
I think you got a lake trout.
LT?
Yeah. You mean a BLT? That's a big lake trout?
Hugh has hooked this tuna on a 7.5-foot rod and a high-speed Jigmaster reel, not the optimum equipment for these big tuna. Dennis Miller will be forced to learn a lesson about big game fishing and is going to take quite a beating in the process. Now it's Dart's turn. All his fish seem to bring him right to the bow and out onto the pulpit.
See, over under. He's okay, he's right there.
If Dart would straighten his left arm, he would relieve a lot of unnecessary fatigue in his upper body and arm. However, he has learned to follow his fish through the various perils on a bouncing bow.
There he is, I see
Watch
color.
the line!
Start sticking out. There he is.
Thank you, gentlemen. That's the biggest fish I ever caught again. Dart personal record.
Dennis Miller still has his fish, and Dennis Bittigary his. Both anglers are dragged up and down the sides of the boat. Luckily, they never cross.
Always keep your fish in front.
How you doing, Dart?
Although Dennis Bittigary does not know much more about battling big tuna than Dennis Miller, his 5.5-foot rod and his big game reel help him deck his first big tuna.
Yeah!